What's up, everybody, and welcome to Urban World Talk Live right here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world, and Facebook Live is coming any minute now. We'll be on there. Want to let everybody know we are live. So, guys, when you guys see us on Facebook Live, remember to like and share, and continue to share and like throughout the show, and comment as we go on. Anthony Adams, how you doing today?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. We got a great show. We're going to be talking about some very interesting things with a very interesting person right now. We got Miss Jessica Hagan with us as well. How you doing, Miss Jessica? Miss Washington World.
Yes.
You know, as you can see with the crown and the sash.
Yes.
Looking so nice. So nice. Also, Ashley King was supposed to be here today. She had some babysitter issues today, where she had to take her daughter to a class. So shout out to Ashley. She won't be able to make it today.
Yes.
But we're gonna keep it pushing with you guys today, though.
Yes,
anyway, as we go in.
Absolutely.
Man, what's good with you? How's your day been today, man?
Day's been pretty good so far. Let's see what I do today. Of course, at the gym a couple times. Got caught up on a couple shows. Dude, have you seen the show All American?
No. All American. What is this on?
This is on CW. This is the show with Taye Diggs. Where he's a football coach. He recruits this young kid from South Central California to come play at his high-end high school in Beverly Hills. But there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of backstory and everything. It's a really good show.
So Taye Diggs is on TV.
Yeah, Taye Diggs is on TV now. Yeah,
right.
Taye Diggs is on TV. It's a really good show. It comes on after Riverdale on Wednesday.
Okay. I'm about to give that a look.
Definitely check that out.
How you been, Miss Jessica? How's your day been?
Pretty well. Got stuck in a little bit of traffic on the way up here, but
yeah, I bet, man. Traffic. See, if people who aren't familiar with us locally here in Seattle, you don't understand. We are one of the worst traffic cities in the nation. Man. I think we always make the list, don't we? We do. We're always pretty far on the list, and we also. Anthony got his
yes.
His
if you hear a little voice in the background on the Rainier Avenue Radio, or if you see her on Facebook Live, that's my daughter. I very rarely ever show her on Facebook.
Real professional here today.
This is what happens when your nephew who's supposed to babysit for you ends up going to play basketball and forgets slips his mind.
Just completely forgets.
It's all good. She won't be here with us long. My mother-in-law's on her way to come get her.
Oh, that's all right. She's adding a little something to the show.
Hi? Look in the camera and say hi. Say hi. What's your name? Oh, you shy now? Okay, you shy? Okay, she's hiding from the camera.
She's talking to me a whole bunch.
She's talking to everybody else, but she's shy from the camera, y'all.
Right. So she's with us. So yeah, we got a great show today. We're gonna be talking about a lot of things.
Yes.
We're gonna be spending a lot of time talking about some of the things that we like a lot, which is pop culture, specifically the comic book influence, and even more specifically, Stan Lee, the late great Stan Lee's comic book influence on the entire world pop culture. We're gonna kind of get into that and talk about that. But first, real quick, before I really get into the show, I have a family member, a loved one, who was in a car accident just a few hours ago, and I want to send my shout out and my love to my cousin Rashawn. Get better. Right. We're all here. We love you. So want to definitely send all of our positive wishes out to him right now. Also, everybody who's watching, remember, for anybody who's just tuning in, for everybody who's coming in and watching, remember to hit the like button and share. It helps the show a lot as we go on. Anthony, a couple of days ago, the news broke, a story about I think it was a security guard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a little bit something to say about that.
Yes, I did. I posted a video about this the other day. There was a security guard in Chicago who worked at a bar. It was on Sunday. His name is Jamel, and I'm blanking on his last name right now. I want to say it was Robertson. I don't remember, but he ended up he was at a bar. There were some people who were rowdy. They knocked back a few. And as a security guard does in a bar, when you've knocked back a few, they cut you off and they ask you to leave. Well, the patron that he asked to leave decided to come back with a gun and start to shoot the place up. I believe Jamel had a gun on him. He's an armed security guard, and he had his gun on him. And he ended up firing his weapon. Not firing his weapon, but he actually ended up apprehending the perp with the gun. Right. And he had his knee in the perp's back with his gun drawn. I think he managed to get the gun away from the perp. And as police were called, they came in on the scene. They see Jamel having the guy pinned down with the gun. And everybody in the bar is screaming at the officers, he's the security guard, they ignore that, I guess, and they shoot the guy 5 times, and Jamel ends up dying. And the kicker
so real quick for everybody who's following and may not understand exactly what's going on. So Jamel, the security guard, stopped a mass shooting from happening in the bar.
He stops a mass shooting.
The police saw him and shot and killed him while he was apprehending the suspect. Am I right? Am I following you right?
Yes.
All right, go ahead, finish.
And it's crazy because this is a guy who actually wanted to be a police officer himself. He was studying to become a police officer. Right. I believe he had just gotten accepted into the academy. Okay. And he was going to start training. That's why one of the reasons why he took the security guard job. He also was a church musician. He actually was going to play musicians and play the organ in a few churches around the city of Chicago.
Right.
And
so he was an upstanding member of society.
He was an upstanding member of society. Yeah.
Okay. Just trying to follow. I'm just trying to.
No, I get it. Yeah, I mean it just hurts because it hurts me because.
Did you say was he a brother? Was he black?
He was black.
Okay, I don't think you got to that part. I don't think you got to that part.
Yeah, he was a black guy. What gets me about it is it hits close to home for me on a number of reasons. Let's take away the police situation for a second and look at the security situation, him apprehending a shooter. I lost my father in a similar situation. He worked security at a warehouse dance party up in Alaska. He was stopping a fight, and he had a guy who the aggressor apprehended on the ground. Right. Well, the guy who was the friend of the aggressor pulls out his gun, shoots and kills my dad in the back of the head.
Wow.
So he dies the next day. Also, I was a security guard for 3 years. Now, fortunately for me, I did concierge security. So I was in office buildings, and thankfully I was in an apartment complex at the Braver in Bellevue, Washington. But I always knew that I was not above encountering stuff like that. And I did have my share of, people that I encountered that were, that I had to ask to leave certain properties. And thankfully they left. A lot of times they were just drunk and they stumbled off and they caught a cab home. But still, I always knew that I was never above that. Right. Then you add in the police situation, and it's like, I want to know, did the police even hear the people? I'm sure they had to have heard it before they even came in and just started firing, saying, he's the security guard. He's the security guard. It's one of those things why I'm glad I voted for the initiative here in the state of Washington about police having racial bias training as well as assessing the situation more, because I feel that that's getting lost in the situation.
It's and you have to. We hate to. It always looks like you have brothers and black women and people of color always whenever something seems like it's racially charged, it's always like you guys always playing the race card. It was just this and that. But these kind of circumstances are so glaring, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And it's like you always hear, it's always one excuse after the other, right?
Absolutely.
It was like, okay, the brother who was in his apartment who didn't have a gun. Well, if he had a gun, if he had a gun, he'd still be alive today. And the police officer that shot him on accident, honest mistake, walking to his apartment thinking it's yours and to shoot him and kill him and murder him in his own home. But that's a mistake, But if he had a gun, he would have protected himself. Okay, so this brother stopped a mass shooting, which we just had a week ago. In Thousand Oaks.
Yes.
Yep. However many people, was it 12, 13 people got shot, killed. You know what I mean? So this guy, a hero. If he looked anything else, the first thing you would hear is that American hero, blank, whatever his name was.
Absolutely.
Stop this mass shooting from happening.
Yeah.
But no, instead of that, he gets shot 5 times for his, heroism by the police, because he had a gun, because he was there and they heard there was a problem. So, there's a brother, and let's shoot this guy.
Yeah.
Look, I am always talking about these kind of things. We're not going to hang around on this issue too long today, but there's not all bad cops, right? Just like there's not all bad anything, right? There's not all bad people or whatever, right? But that police have training to use tasers and use all kind of other non-lethal force, right? They have all these kind of things.
Well, I mean, if I'm correct, I thought it was assess the situation and give the person a chance to drop the weapon,
right? Or
fire a warning shot at most.
Right.
Now we live in a society where it's shoot first, ask questions if they survive,
and shoot to incapacitate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you know that the police were there called because there was somebody who's going to be a shooter, a problem. And when they got there, the guy wasn't shooting; he was subdued. So I mean, why? What was the immediate threat where you had to kill the guy? I don't know. I mean, Jessica, real quick, we'll let you answer what your thoughts of this situation is, and then we'll move on from that. What did you think about this when you heard it?
I watched the story and read it, and I was just beside myself. I'm just going, why? Why is this happening? And like you said, this guy was being a hero, and unfortunately paid the ultimate price for that.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
And here's the thing, and again, we talk about. We try not to get into so many serious things, and we're gonna have a really fun conversation in just a minute. But you know, when it comes to these kind of issues, it's not about politicizing it. It's not about picking a side. If this happened to anybody, this would be an outrage.
Yes.
It was.
Okay. Yes. This is whenever people always say like, oh, whenever it's this or that. No, it's whenever this kind of thing happens, it's bad. If it was a white guy who stopped the shooter and then for some reason got 5 shots by the police, that would be an outrage. Just the same to me. Okay, so it's not about the fact but it is happening to black people all the time. It's just the facts. You look and see what happens. These are the kind of things that happen. And then you see these other shooters that actually shoot up schools and churches, and they get taken with not a scratch on them.
Exactly.
When they're the other color. So I'm just sorry. These things happen, and we have to shine a light on them because we don't want to normalize this. This kind of stuff has to stop. If we're all going to ever become one nation where we're all together, these kind of things got to get pointed out and stopped. This is how it worked the first time with the civil rights movement and everything else. You had to point out the ills of society for things to change, and that's my only little piece on that.
Yeah, it's definitely devastating. I mean, of course, what's going to happen is we've seen this movie play out several times before,
and nothing's going to happen.
And you know what's going to happen is the officers are going to be placed on unpaid leave.
Slap on the wrist.
There's going to be a slap on the wrist, which will probably
vacation.
Slap on the wrist. Right. It basically will end up leading to them being released. If there is a trial, there's a 85% chance they'll be found not guilty.
85,
or 95% chance they'll be found not guilty.
All right.
And then of course the district will help them look for new jobs, like they did with the guy who shot and killed Philando Castile.
All right,
or even I'll do one better. The lady in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that shot and killed, I forget the guy's name, did everything the cops were telling him to do. She shot and killed him, found not guilty. You know what she's doing now? She's teaching police media training on how to deal with the media when you deal with situations like this.
Well, if there's one thing that they need to learn how to do, it's they need their training in the media. All right, so we're gonna move on from that unfortunate situation, but it's one that unfortunately we probably won't.
It needs to be talked about.
Yeah, it needs to be talked about. But we're probably not gonna stop.
Before we go any further, let me say real quick, man. Rest in peace to Kim Porter. If you don't know who Kim Porter is, she was a actress, model, entrepreneur. She's also the former girlfriend and mother of Sean Diddy Combs' kids.
Diddy's baby's mom.
They have three kids.
She just passed away, right?
She just passed away today.
It was like pneumonia or something?
Well, they said pneumonia. They said that they think she might suffer cardiac arrest. So
wow.
Yeah. So she was only 47.
So yeah. I mean, you never know. You never know, and that's an unfortunate situation. Another guy who passed away, though, who we are going to talk about now, the legendary, iconic Stan Lee.
Yes.
Stan Lee, one of the founders of Marvel Comics.
Yes.
He lived to the ripe old age of 95.
He came, he saw, he conquered, and saw again.
What a life.
Yeah.
What a life. And that's the one thing, you hear about these guys, and for me, Anthony and myself, we're very much seeped into the pop culture. And now, as I find out, our guest, Jessica, is as well. And for someone like me growing up, Stan Lee's been such an integral part in my growth as a person. You know what I mean? My mom always told me the first word I ever said was Spider-Man. That was my actual first word that I ever said, because, and he helped create some of the most iconic parts of everybody's lives, everybody's consciousness, the things that you can't go anywhere without seeing something that has something to do with some of the characters that he helped create. And he lived 95. When you think about it, the guy, he lived to 95, but man, he's somebody that back in the day when he first started really getting going, and with the trials and tribulations that his own comic book company, Marvel Comics, went through, during that time, you know, he went through a period in the 60s where he was very, very much outspoken about social issues.
He was.
Equality.
He was.
And a lot of that seeps into a lot of the work that he does with the characters that he helped create, like the Black Panther. Luke Cage.
Yeah, I actually watched a clip of an interview that he did with Kevin Smith a while ago. And they were talking about like the different masks that everybody had and how most of the masks always covered someone's face.
Right.
And Stan Lee said the reason why he did that was because you weren't supposed to know the person's nationality, because he wanted you to use your imagination to think, you know, this person can be anybody. This person can be black. They can be white. They can be Asian. They can be Hispanic. It's whatever you want that person to be. Right. That's the reason why he made the masks to where you really weren't supposed to see any of their faces.
Exactly.
You know, Captain America, he said, you know, the way we ended up doing Captain America's mask, that was an accident. That just happened, you know. But he said for the most part, the reason why all the characters that I created that had masks was because I wanted kids to envision, you know, them as this character, you know, not necessarily based on someone's race. Right.
Now, Miss Washington, as you're sitting there, if you take a look at our fabulous guest, Miss Washington World. So let me get the whole title in there. Yes. Jessica Hagan, with her crown, her lovely crown. What you can't see, but I don't know, you got to take a closer look if you can see. She's actually wearing a Spider-Man dress right here. This is 100%.
It's actually pretty cool. I like that.
Rocking a Spider-Man dress, looking fabulous.
How would you wear it often?
You don't know. You know, but this is a very appropriate time. How has somebody like Stan Lee touched your life, and you know, especially with some of the things you do? You know, how does it affect you hearing about it, and what has it meant to you, that person being a part of the pop culture the way it is?
Well, it was when the news happened, the first thing was everybody was saying, oh no, this is another fake one. And I that's what I thought too. I was like, oh man, it's fake. Don't give me a heart attack.
Right.
And then when I realized it was real, like all the life just drained out.
You saw something like in your social media feed?
Yep.
You're right.
First thing when I woke up.
Right.
And I was like, it's fake. And then it came back that it was real.
Right.
Unfortunately. Really upset. I was sending all my friends just, you know, sobbing.
Right.
Emojis and everything, and they're just like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "My hero died."
Right.
Yes.
My hero died.
I was at work when the news had went out, and I actually was in charge of one of the blue. Thank you, sweetie. Go sit down, please. I was actually in charge of one of the Bluetooth speakers that we demo at work, and I just went on and I played All the Stars by Kendrick Lamar and SZA from the Black Panther soundtrack, because it's a song of positivity and a song of hope. And then I was like, you know what? This makes sense that it would be a send-off. And it's funny because where I work at, we're all nerds and everything. We love comics. We love Marvel. We were all excited for a Marvel film. Hi, sweetie. Right. We're all excited for, you know, Black Panther to come out. We were excited for the Avengers movies and the Guardians of the Galaxies. Even though I'm a DC comic person, personally, I still respect Stan Lee, and I always gave Marvel credit where it was due. They make movies. I can't deny that. Yes. DC's getting there. They're starting to get there slowly. They're trying, but like I said, you know, I've seen probably more Marvel films in the theater than I have DC.
Right.
Can't really see what's happening in DC movies.
Well, yeah. Now you can with the network, but but still, I went to the theater. I mean, I got that joke. It's funny because it was like, the first actual bootleg movie I ever watched in college, I'm ashamed to say this, it was the first Iron Man movie. And to be truthful with you guys, I didn't know anything about Iron Man until the movie came out.
Oh, man.
Like I said, well, because the thing is, she's excited to see herself on TV, guys. So sorry, she's never seen herself like this. This is what happens when you parent. Yes, baby. Okay, thank you. Go.
So your first one was a. I like the question you put up there too. Yes. I like the question you put up there too, D. It's a little interesting.
Yes.
Answered it.
Yeah.
Right. So your first bootleg one was was Iron Man. That was the first introduction that you had to Iron Man.
To Iron Man, yeah.
I'll see that. Yeah. Let's say my dad. Okay, was a comic book artist.
Oh yeah.
Right. So the comic books were ingrained in my growing up. He had a whole room full of everything. I mean, he had so many issues now. He'll be mad now because he sold a lot of them up. Oh, he's pissed off about that. But he had so many. He had so many of the first issues of all these different comics and some of the you know the X-Men, the original stuff, the original Spider-Man. So all of that was growing up. Iron Man I knew about. But you know, it's really interesting when you think about the difference, because we're talking about DC and Marvel. Okay, so remember when these things came out way back in the 40s and 30s and all these other years back then, you remember DC, they were the big dogs on the campus, right? They have the big guys. They got the Superman, Batman, you know, Wonder Woman. They had the Trinity of the Justice League, all of that stuff like that. They were coming with it really hard. But there was a big difference between what they did and what Stan Lee ended up doing with his characters. Because the DC characters, they were the gods among men, right? They were the larger than life. They were the strong guys, the flawless, you know, the perfect beacons of perfection, right? And then Stan Lee came out and he did a thing where he said, no, I'm going to come out and I'm going to make these guys a little more human, a little more flawed. I'm going to come out and have a guy like Spider-Man who has nothing but problems all the time and has nothing but issues, you know, with paying his rent. And, you know, he had these relatable characters. They were, if you look at the difference between the DC characters and Marvel characters, the DC guys, they're already, you know, super for the most part. And then the Marvel guys are usually the guys that were like, there was a science experiment and you know, it affected them. You know what I mean? So he changed it a lot. And then you deal with the X-Men, the social issues with that. Remember, when he made the X-Men, they've talked about this a lot. And Stan Lee has gone on and say that the X-Men was almost a social commentary about the civil rights movement and about the intolerance towards the people of color back then. And, you know, the different sides of the arguments that were on both sides, where as Magneto was more of the Malcolm X type and Professor Xavier was more of the Martin Luther King. So I mean, it goes really deep with the kind of things that he did. I mean, what do you?
No, absolutely. I like that he came out with characters that were extremely relatable.
Yeah.
And you could be like, oh, that could have been me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
That could have been me.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, to be fair though, because I got to defend them, DC is now starting to. The funny thing about DC though, I'll say this. The only superhero person they have is Superman, but like Batman, he has flaws. You see Wonder Woman's flaws. You've seen everybody on Titans' flaws.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm talking more about.
But I think what it was is that they started doing that after Marvel came out.
Right. Right. So and so the influence was definitely there, and that's another point. Stan Lee is a guy who influenced the influential. You know what I mean? A lot of the guys, a lot of the characters, and a lot of the people that we hold up as icons now, they were people that were influenced heavily by what Stan Lee was doing. Did you know? Did you know that Darth Vader was inspired by Dr. Doom? In a lot of ways, his costume, the way he looked, everything about Dr. Doom was a big influence on Darth Vader. Darth Vader, one of the most iconic characters in all of the world, period. Movies, pop culture, you name it. Everybody knows who Darth Vader is. And he was influenced by a Marvel comic character. So Stan Lee's imprint is on so many different things.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, the one thing I will miss about him are the cameos he always made in a Marvel film.
He's got one more.
They say he's got one more.
Actually, you know what? I'm not sure if it's one more, because you got to think right now in the can. Right now they got Captain Marvel's in the can. Sure. Infinity War sequel, whatever that's going to be called, and Spider-Man Far From Home. They're all finished. So those are all wrapped. As far
they
as the
announced the movie that has his last cameo, but like, I mean, we're gonna be seeing more of him to come.
And there was a rumor that was going on a little while ago too about because he was getting so old and up there in age. There was a rumor going around that Marvel might have filmed a few cameos in a row instead of just trying to have him fly out. So I don't think we're sure about exactly how many is left, but I'm positive that it has been confirmed for sure that Captain Marvel and Avengers will have.
That would make sense though, because Buddy actually got a chance to meet Stan Lee at Comic-Con. I think it was last year. I think it was last year was the last he was doing all the Comic-Cons. But he met him and he said, I was like, well, to meet him, he said, well, you pay your $90 or whatever to go meet him, and he's behind this little curtain, like a little thing. It's like, they want to keep him like in a calm environment. Because normally from what I heard is he used to be out walking the floors at Comic-Con, meeting fans and everything. But
there's literally thousands of pictures of Stan Lee with fans. He was such a personable person who was always willing to pose with the fans, and he enjoyed his status within the community. He enjoyed the fact that people revered him in such a way, and he was proud of it. And it's just, you gotta think of it too. Think of what it was like to live the life that he lived, and to be able to see your creations, the thing that you thought, come as far as they did.
Life too?
Right. And, right. Because when he came out with these characters, remember, it's almost like technology had to catch up to him. And it really did. Yeah. Because if you really watch, DC was king in the movies for a long time with Superman and Batman. And those were the only things that were really popping in the movie theaters. Because the Marvel movies, there was just no way to make them work with the special effects that they had at the time. You couldn't do a 1980s Spider-Man movie. It would have looked like crap. There's no way you could have had the guy doing all the stunts and doing all the things like that without it looking like crap. You couldn't have done the X-Men right. You couldn't have done any of those characters, the Avengers or anything like that back then. So the fact is, technology had to catch up to him. It wasn't until the 2000s when X-Men came around, that movie.
Well, even Spider-Man.
When Blade came out first in '98, but nobody really knew that was a Marvel comic. A lot of people just
thought, explain that to so many people.
Right.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know V for Vendetta was a DC comic. I didn't know that.
Right.
So, but I get what you're saying, like a Marvel, or you didn't know it was until because you think of the superheroes.
You have to wait. So we're gonna get deep into this stuff. We're gonna get more into Miss Hagan's career and more after our break. 3 minutes back here on Facebook Live. You guys stay with us. RainierAvenueRadio.world. We'll be back in 3 minutes. More Urban World Live.
You're listening to RainierAvenueRadio.world. Check us out on social media: Facebook and Instagram, RainierAvenueRadio.world, and on Twitter at RainierAvRadio.
This is your Rainier Avenue Radio.world community update on Our Big Neighborhood at Winterfest by Northwest Folklife. Friday, November 23rd at Seattle Center Armory from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Ring in the holiday season with Our Big Neighborhood. Experience the rich cultures of the Pacific Northwest with music and dance by Northwest Tap Connection, Aztec dancers, and the Nzanga Marimba Ensemble. For more information, go to northwestfolklife.org or seattlecenter.com and search Winterfest.
It's time for another RainierAvenueRadio.world news update. I'm Diedrich Prince. Washington State voters overwhelmingly approved Initiative I-940, which requires law enforcement officers to obtain violence de-escalation and mental health training, hoping to provide officers with licks without the use of physical or deadly force, and provide them with less lethal weapons to deal with in those situations that force is necessary. However, I-940 is not popular with the police. Critics say it will lead to officers second-guessing themselves in split-second situations and could cost lives. Linwood Police Sergeant Cole Langdon has been teaching these tactics to his department for the past year and had this to say.
So on the back of the car, we keep our shield right here. These are not only for de-escalation, they're for anything. They could be for officers, they could be for a mass shooting type event. It's walking that fine line. It's finding that balance. Anything that we can do that can disrupt that ability for the person to hold on to that weapon. It's something that we're going to look at trying to do. De-escalation is really just good policing. It's good police work. There is a sincere desire on the part of this police department to make sure we're getting everybody home safely.
Law enforcement officers will also receive first aid training, as Initiative 940 requires police to provide first aid to anyone they injure as quickly as possible. This has been Diedrich Prince with the RainierAvenueRadio.world news update.
This is Big Poppy, host of Jazz from the Cabinets. Join me each week for a listening tour of the first century of jazz, an eclectic mix of Dixieland, big band, cool jazz, bebop, contemporary jazz, world jazz, all jazz in all forms. That's Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy on Rainier Avenue Radio, streaming worldwide on RainierAvenueRadio.world.
This is your Rainier Avenue Radio.world community update on free CrossFit classes in Columbia City at CrossFit RE on Rainier Avenue South. On the first Saturday of every month, everyone is invited to join in for a free workout. 4-hour-long class options from 6:30 to 11 a.m. Classes include large groups and all levels, so everyone has a blast and gets a great workout. You can find out more information at CrossFitRE.com.
This is Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Hey, what's up, guys? We are back right here, Urban World Talk Live, right here at RainerAvenueRadio.world and on Facebook Live. If you guys are watching on the show on Facebook Live, go ahead and give us a like and a share. And
yes,
go ahead and
please.
Go, Anthony. We got a lot of comments that we got.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, thanks again to everybody that's watching right now. We didn't forget about you guys. We just got in conversation, got wrapped up. V. Cormer says, it's sad this young man lost his life. These officers need to be charged with murder, sending prayers to his family. Lydia says, hi. Hey, Lydia, how you doing? Wow, Anthony, I'm sorry. Thank you for that. Sorry to hear about your father, Anthony, from V. Cormer. My ex-fiance was almost killed by police officers because he was chasing someone who was trying to break into an apartment below us. They had 4 shotguns on him, and he was real lucky. All they saw was a black man in a white area and assumed he was the burglar. V also says this is going to be Lydia says, I can't understand why this keeps happening. He will probably get away with it. And then V says this has been going on for years. We're exposed to it more because of social media. I can name so many cases and senseless killing of black men. And then Via says about Stan Lee, he was an icon. And may he rest in peace. I'm glad he brought us such great characters. Travis, who's watching all the way from North Carolina, says, may he rest in peace. Thanks for watching.
Right. All right. So real quick, I'm going to talk to Miss Jessica Hagan too, because you've been on the pageant scene for how long?
This is my first pageant since I was, I believe, 14 or 15. I did my first pageant. Obviously took a long break, about half my life.
Right. Never too late.
Never too late.
Into it. Yeah, I just turned 31, so I was like, you know what? It's time to go back and do more.
Just go out there and do it, and obviously it went pretty well.
Yeah, so the pageants this weekend for the title is Miss U.S. World.
Okay.
So I'm the delegate for Washington.
There you go.
And then I have
represent.
I call her my sister delegate. She is Miss Washington World Elite, and you have to be over 40 to have that title.
Okay.
Her name's Callie. She's awesome, and all get to see each other this weekend. I'm really excited. It's in Reno.
Nice little reunion.
In Reno. I've never been there. So.
Nice little. You get to go out a little trip, go out, be pretty, and get dolled up and do all that whole thing. Oh, so another thing you do is you're big into cosplay. I've seen a lot of the costumes. Check her out on her page. She has so many different costumes, and one of the ones that I really liked was the Spider-Gwen. Yes. Which is a Marvel Comics. It was Stan Lee comic creation, the Gwen Stacy version of Spider-Man. Yes. I think that's gonna be a big part of the Into the Spider-Verse movie that's coming out.
It has to be
cartoon later this year. So, man, how did you get into that? The cosplay thing, because you're really something.
Thanks. Cosplay started my early 20s. I had a boyfriend who was really into cosplay. I'd never really done it before, and he made me my first costume.
And cosplay is very, very sophisticated costume wear, right?
It can be.
A lot of times.
Or it could be something together from your closet.
Right.
We call it closet cosplay.
Right.
Something that appears like it's the costume.
Well, on your level, the one that you do, you're the cosplay. You do a good job.
I try.
So what are some of your favorite ones that you've got going?
Spider-Gwen is definitely one of my favorites. Stanley did that for his wife, Joan.
Oh wow.
And so that when she died, like that was a blow to me, because when Spider-Gwen came out, she's one of the newest characters.
Right.
It was a blow to me because I really enjoy Spider-Gwen. I mean, I love Spider-Man. My boyfriend's favorite character is Spider-Man. So we have tons of Spider-Man stuff all over the house. And he also cosplays as Spider-Man as well. So we will sometimes go out as Spider-Man and Spider-Gwen. And we're just
nice.
It's like a power couple right there.
There you go.
So much fun. But he Stan created the character for his wife. When she died, unfortunately, I was like, she's with her gone. That's a big piece of his heart that's gone. So unfortunately, I knew he was not gonna be far behind.
It's so weird that happens. There's so many cases that you hear that those couples that are together for so long, and then one dies, and then not too far after the other one goes. Recently, what happened? I'm gonna get back to you. I remember Carrie Fisher had passed. And her mom, who was, Debbie Reynolds, died like the next day.
Yeah.
Like she was holding on.
Yeah.
That was so sad, man. But it's just, it's so weird when that happens. But so yeah, that definitely affected you when that took place.
Yeah. A couple other characters I really like playing. I do some anime characters. One of my favorites, Yoko from Gurren Lagann.
Okay.
And it's interesting to go out in because she wears not a lot. as with most anime characters, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, that's how it goes with them.
Started doing some video game characters. I'm working on Jinx from League of Legends right now.
Okay.
She's one I've been trying to work on for a long time, but I got actually 3D printed her bazooka fish bones out, and I have to put it together in a bunch of pieces.
That's dedication. You gotta.
It's a lot of work. My friend Tim helped me print it out because he has a 3D printer. I'm like, please help me.
So you're really big at the Comic Cons and things like that.
I go to SakuraCon mostly.
There's the anime one, right?
Yeah, that's the anime one. Still in Seattle at the convention center, and then I used to go to PAX a lot. I used to work for G4.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I used to do all their merchandise and stuff. It was amazing seeing all the new video games coming out because I'm a really big video game person.
Yeah.
Fallout 76 just came out and I need to get it.
So real quick, speaking of G4, I actually used to do security in the building where Valve's headquarters used to be. So I used to patrol their floors and everything, and used to like all their little offices and their break room. And it was cool and everything. And then Valve is known for making the game Portal and Left 4 Dead. I remember one night. Yeah, and I remember one night I made I was doing my rounds. It's like 12 midnight, and I'm doing my rounds. I'm checking the floor, and I open up the door, and all of a sudden, then I look down the hall, and I see this thing that's on a tripod, and it turns around and looks at me with a red beam, and I hightailed it out of there. It was their thing for the game Portal, and I thought it was gonna start shooting stuff at me. I hightailed it out of there, but it was scary. It was scary. When you see it, had you seen, you would have done the same thing.
I probably would have did the same thing. So you're a big gamer. So what is a game that you've been looking forward to besides Fallout?
Looking forward to.
Or did you get the Red Dead Redemption when that came out?
I did not, but and I haven't played the first one in all honesty. But I've been watching all the stuff from the second one, and with how people are responding to it, and I actually have a seasonal job working at GameStop right now for just a little while.
Okay.
And I've been watching people come. I think there's 2 people who have returned it because they didn't like the controls or something. And I'm like, get over it. Just play the game.
If Red Dead Redemption is weird. I'm not. I think maybe it's just a Western thing. I'm not really into Westerns myself. Because I love the Grand Theft Auto games.
Yeah, this feels like the Western Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
Yeah.
And I used to watch
the horse.
Yeah.
And I used to watch my dad and my brother. They played it and they were really into it. And it looks awesome. I just couldn't. I couldn't really get into it.
I'm gonna try it.
And plus, I don't really have a whole lot of time playing games the way I should. For something like that,
he can't.
Well, you know what? I did get the Spider-Man game. That came out.
Yes, my boyfriend has that.
That is ridiculous.
I'm watching him going, how are you doing this?
Man, the Spider-Man game is like playing a movie or something.
Yes,
awesome.
That's what I've heard.
Spider-Man is so dope.
Watching it is like watching a movie.
Yeah, it's so good, and the storylines are like it reminds me of the Spider-Man 2 movie, the Raimi one, not the Electro. Jamie Foxx Electro tragedy that came out.
Yeah.
So, so I want to ask you guys real quick, and you guys can answer this too. Real quick, I want to get into what are your 3? Just give me 3 of your the best comic book movies that you've seen.
Oh man,
go ahead. Your 3, just off the top of your head. If you had to think of 3 right now,
comic book movies.
You had to pick 3 comic book movies. That are your favorite, the best. What do you think? What comes to mind?
I really enjoyed Black Panther.
Okay.
I really enjoyed Black Panther.
Okay. Does that make your list all time right now? Already?
Yes.
Okay. Black Panther.
I've been wanting
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. Don't make him do that if you ever meet him, by the way.
Oh yeah, they said Chadwick's getting tired of doing that.
Done.
Yeah.
Can you blame him?
Well, no, actually, I don't know if you ever
keep
saw,
doing it.
No, exactly. Well, no, actually, I don't know if you ever saw this, but there's a video that came out, an interview of Michael B. Jordan, where this lady's interviewing him, and she's trying to get him to do the Wakanda salute, and he won't do it. And you think in the video he's being a jerk, and he's just so over Black Panther, and then he hits the line, and he goes, "I'm not from Wakanda." And then if you think about it, his character is not. He's actually from Oakland, California,
yes.
And you never saw Killmonger
accent
do
yeah. Like it was so good.
Oh yeah, it was great. So Black Panther. What else? I'm not gonna let you off the hook like that. You gotta get the rest of them. So you got Black Panther. What's the other one?
I really like the new adaptation of Spider-Man with Tom Holland.
Yeah. Okay.
He's
Homecoming.
Just adorable.
Okay. So you got Black Panther, Homecoming. It doesn't have to be Marvel either. It's all comic movies.
Like I said, with the DC movies, you have to turn on all the lights to figure out what is going on in the movies.
Especially with the Snyder ones.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
So you got Black Panther, Spider-Man.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb. Constantine.
Oh.
Wow.
Nice
deep cut there.
Love
deep
Constantine.
Constantine. It was in 2005. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, and then they did the TV.
You know what? It's an underrated movie. Constantine's weird.
It is.
It's really weird. It's weird.
I had to tell people that was a DC. They didn't believe me.
I didn't know. I forgot that was a DC movie. I didn't even know it until.
Loved it.
Yeah. You do your homework, Anthony.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing, though. Here's a funny thing. If you watch Legends of Tomorrow, Constantine is actually on there now. He's on there now.
Yes, and it made me happy that it was the same guy that was in the TV show.
Yeah, they had to do it like that. Yeah.
Because he's amazing. I'm sorry.
Are we talking? Okay, so we're talking live action, or are we talking animated?
Anything that came in the movie theater.
Okay.
Anything that came in the movie theater.
Okay.
None of the cartoons.
So none of the cartoons. Well, one of them did.
A couple of them did.
Okay, thank you, sweetie.
True.
Okay, thank you.
you.
Gotta go sit down now.
Thanks, Mama.
Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna say for me, the first Batman movie with Jack Nicholson and Joker. Yeah.
Tim Burton.
I gotta go. The Dark Knight.
Okay.
With Heath Ledger as Joker.
Okay.
I gotta go with that one
because of Heath Ledger as Joker.
Yeah, absolutely, and the directing in general, and the storyline in general, and I mean, we got to see Two-Face, which was cool.
That was interesting. Aaron Eckhart.
Good. Aaron Eckhart was great.
And then third will probably be Black Panther. It's got to be Black Panther.
Black Panther. Okay.
Yeah, hold on a second, y'all. Hold on a second. I'll be right back, y'all. Y'all keep talking.
All right, I want to look at some of these real quick. I'm gonna look at some of these.
My boyfriend actually said some stuff.
I'm gonna read this too. So I see Travis Hibbert says may he rest in peace. May he rest in peace. Talking about Stan Lee, of course. He also says Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Spider-Man for his picks for the movie. Jim Brass says Iron Man, Spider-Man, Black Panther. I don't know if I don't know if you're just naming them or if you're saying those are your favorite movies. Though that's what he said, and then he said, "Who will carry the torch now?" For Stan Lee. I'm sure there's going to be somebody who steps out. Hopefully.
Nope.
Can never be another. Never replace.
Nope. Never.
And then Trevor
Zarnicki.
Thank God you're here to say that name, because I would not. There's no way. I'm gonna just let you know right now, man. There's no way I would have got that right. So Trevor Zarnicki says his favorite comic book movies: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1990. Yep. He's going back.
Yeah. He's
going back. 1990. Hellboy, the original.
Watched.
The original Hellboy, right? Is that what you're saying? The original Hellboy or part 2?
Probably both. We just watched both.
Okay, and then he's saying Batman, Tim Burton. So those are some good picks. Those are really good picks.
Okay.
An inspired pick with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So let me ask y'all a question. Favorite?
Wait, I didn't give you my picks.
Oh, go ahead.
Can I get my picks?
Yeah, go ahead. My bad. I thought you did. I thought you
my
did. My bad. My bad. Go ahead.
All right, I got you now, and this is a hard one because you got to narrow it down. But just thinking about it off the top, if I'm gonna say the best comic book movies, I would go Captain America: Civil War. Captain America: Civil War. I thought that was amazing. The tension between Iron Man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And Captain America. Yeah. The airport scene. It was amazing.
Yep.
Dark Knight, which was the best comic book movie to me until Avengers: Infinity War. I think Avengers: Infinity War. I put that up there, man. Avengers: Infinity War is now. Here's the thing, like, there's a question of whether or not Black Panther or Infinity War was more award worthy for the Oscars coming up if one of them was to get nominated. Now, I would say this. I think as in terms of just a movie, if you didn't know anything about comic book characters or anything like that, this is a movie, I would probably say there's more drama to be seen in the Black Panther.
Absolutely, yeah.
Where with the drama between the family and the T'Challa and Killmonger. But if you're saying comic book movie straight off a page of a comic book, I would say Avengers: Infinity War, man.
That was really
Avengers: Infinity War is like somebody reached into a comic book and brought it out and put it on the screen in a way that I've never seen before.
Hang on a second.
So that's why I would choose that one. So I don't know. So if you're saying you and your boyfriend have gone out as husband, boyfriend. Sorry. So, never mind. Freudian slip, I guess. So you and your boyfriend have gone out as Spider-Man and Gwen, Spider-Gwen. What are some of the other couple costumes that you've seen people wear that are awesome teams? Because I'm trying to think a picture. If I was going to go to the Comic Con with my wife, I'm trying to think of a good one to be. I'm kind of picturing one. What are some of the ones you've seen?
I've seen a lot of people do like, this is going kind of more Disney, but like Mad Hatter and Alice, because it's like a thing.
Yeah, Mad Hatter and Alice. That's a big one.
Yeah, and then a lot of people have been doing Fortnite characters.
Oh yeah, the Fortnite. God, Fortnite.
Speaking of Fortnite,
that's my kid.
Fortnite. Did you see that they released Aaron Hernandez skins for Fortnite?
No, I didn't know that.
They did.
I haven't been up on the Fortnite.
Neither have I. I just saw it in the news. I'm like, you gotta be kidding.
Aaron Hernandez, though,
Aaron
right?
Hernandez,
the one that went to jail.
The one that went to jail.
Murder?
Yeah.
And they put it in a video. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it.
Done with society.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this question: what is your favorite comic book TV show?
TV show now or all time?
All time.
All time.
Live
comic
action,
book?
not animated.
Live action.
Animated's a different. We'll do animated next, but 3 live actions.
Three live
We have to do 3 live actions.
Four.
Now you're gonna fool
That's
me.
even harder.
Let me give 5. 5.
You're getting worse. Go back to 3.
Okay, 3.
Go back to 3.
Fine, go.
I don't think that.
Go.
I'll let the ladies first.
You know what
Go
I
ahead,
really liked?
What?
Legion.
You know what?
So good.
I didn't watch season 2 yet.
I haven't watched season 2 yet.
Okay,
either,
but I heard
because
season 2
they
was.
haven't brought it out on. It was like on Hulu or something.
No, I heard it was mind blowing though. The first season was crazy.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
So Legion was really good.
Okay.
I actually was really liking Gifted.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Gifted was good.
X-Men kind of thing, right?
Okay.
The timelines are a little weird, but
right. What are
you
you gonna do?
can do Deadpool. These timelines are so confusing.
Exactly.
Third one.
Third one. Huh? Anything come to mind? No.
I'm probably gonna get
All right.
called that later.
Go ahead, Anthony. You answer.
do yours. I'll
All right,
think of
for
mine.
me, I'm gonna go Gotham,
Gotham was-
The Flash, and just because I just finished it and I fell in love with it, I'm so mad I missed it when it came on. The Birds of Prey.
I have it on DVD.
It's on the DC Universe streaming service
I
now.
have it on DVD.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about that.
Yeah. They're doing the
So
movie. They're doing the movie next year.
I know. But
Yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, I get it. The show was ahead of its time. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, the first. See, to me, I don't know about for their complete runs because a lot of them don't hold up after a while.
Mhm.
But the first couple of seasons of Arrow were really great.
Yeah.
So I really like those.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan of what they're doing with the Black Lightning show.
Yes.
But being honest, I don't really like a lot of comic book TV shows that have been on there.
Really?
But the best one to me, far and away, is Daredevil. Especially
Daredevil,
after
yeah.
Daredevil season 3.
Okay.
That one
I couldn't
is
decide between
untouchable.
Daredevil and Luke Cage. I couldn't decide.
Luke
which
Cage
one.
is great, but I think that Luke Cage had a little trouble sticking the landing.
Very true.
They said the second season
Very true.
didn't. A lot of people were kind of disappointed with the
second season was all over the place.
And
And
let's not even
I
talk
loved.
about
I
Iron
loved.
Fist.
I'm not gonna lie.
no,
I'm not gonna lie.
Don't worry.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie. Me and the wife, we loved Jessica Jones.
Jessica was
Look at
good.
some
Go
of these
ahead.
comments.
Yeah, please. Yeah, let's do this.
So V. Cormier says she likes Spider-Man, Black Panther, Iron Man, Hellboy, and all of Batman. You're cheating, V. We said 3.
Even Batman and Robin.
All of the Batman. She said all of them. Now I'm gonna go
Okay.
ahead and I'm gonna hold her to that. So
Okay.
I'm gonna put Batman and Robin in there
Okay.
too. V. You gotta
So you have to
correct
pick one.
correct me if I'm wrong on that one. She also says Black Panther, Avengers, Infinity War, and they should all win awards. So those are.
Yeah.
I think they should get something. I love those movies. Lydia says Harley Quinn is so popular. I think she's talking about in the costume,
Oh, yeah.
the cosplay world.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sorry, but I am done seeing the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn.
Oh,
I'm
the new
so
one.
done.
You don't like because that's not the.
You want the animated series one, right? You want the one that's.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm actually working on that costume right now because it's taken me so long to find a pattern I really, really like.
Oh, wait, I thought I saw a picture of you in the Suicide Squad.
Nope.
No, that wasn't Suicide Squad, or was that the Injustice one?
Nope.
That wasn't you in the thing. In the cosplay? Okay.
So you don't like so you don't like the Margot Robbie Harley Quinn.
Okay.
You just didn't like the outfit.
Let's backtrack.
Okay.
I haven't seen the movie. And it was because of just watching the commercial for it.
What, the Suicide Squad movie?
Yes.
Oh, that movie sucked.
You know what? I'll be honest
Oh,
with
it sucked.
you. It was better than what I thought it was going to be.
Oh, get out of here! You
It was. No, I'm serious.
I
It was
heard that
better.
There was a cameo for the
God.
classic suit. She pulled it out.
Yeah.
But then I was just watching everything else, and like I didn't even want to touch what they did to Joker. I don't want to touch what they did to her backstory.
Well, here's the thing.
That movie sucks.
Well, I think the reason why a lot of people were also, I mean, the story wasn't good. I mean, like I said,
no, wait a minute.
I could tell
it wasn't good. Go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is the story wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. It was better than what I thought.
How was it better? I want to hear how it was better.
Because
count the ways.
Here's the thing. If you know the Suicide Squad story,
I know.
You know Joker's not in there all that much.
That wasn't
a lot of people were mad that Joker was not in there.
That wasn't the problem to me, though.
That was to you.
No, it wasn't a problem.
The problem it was made.
The problem it was made, and it was terrible. Here's the thing.
Viola Davis killed it though as Amanda Wilder. As Amanda Wilder.
Except Suicide Squad.
No, she killed it as Amanda Wilder. You can't
say
she
take all her scenes out, make it a movie on
Look,
its own.
No, here's the problem.
She killed it as Amanda Wilder.
I'm sorry, and this is I don't want to spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Suicide Squad, I'm saving you. I'm saving you right now. So look,
that might have been it.
What was this?
My boyfriend said I did Bombshell Harley. Maybe that's what you said.
Oh, okay. So I knew I saw Harley.
Well, you see Kaylee Cuoco is going to be the voice of Harley Quinn for the new series, right?
Yeah. So no, look, I'm trying to quiet me up before I tear apart this Suicide Squad movie. Let me tell you something. When you hear somebody say, "Oh, look, we need a team of metahumans to stop other metahumans," and then they get a girl with a baseball bat, a guy with a boomerang, and somebody who's climbing up walls, and that's your Suicide Squad, or a guy, he can shoot well. Oh, this is your super team. Not to mention, Batman and the Flash they exist in the same world, and so this is the team they put together to stop some weird.
So you don't like Suicide Squad in general?
It was terrible.
Not even the movies, just the comics.
No. The comics are smarter than this. Though. The comics, they actually fight people they can fight. Now, all you have to do to make a Suicide Squad movie is have them fight like the Russian mafia or something, or have these guys get together on some Black Ops mission.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, the movie was rushed. Yeah, it was rushed.
No, it was terrible.
I'm saying they rushed to get it out.
Hey, Batman. Remember all those people you arrested? Why don't you hook us up with them so we can have them save the world? What?
You would think.
What? That doesn't make any sense, man. I'm sorry.
I understand what they were trying to go with the comics. I do, and I understand that
the comic is okay.
Right
the
now,
new 52 version of the comic is the best.
Yeah, but they don't do the stuff they did in the movie.
But some of the costumes there suck too.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. The movie, the DC movies in the recent years have been slipping, man.
They have.
The Man of Steel was okay for some of it, and then I thought that it was
better than that last Superman movie they did.
And then the Justice League, and then the only one of the DC movies that I've liked in the recent years has been the Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman
was good. I had fun with that the whole way.
It was good, and it was weird for me because
you did a cosplay of Wonder Woman. You look good. You look really good at that one.
I have two different versions of it. I have more of the movie one, and then I have more of
the comic one.
Yeah, and then I have more of the. No, not even the comic one. I have more of the costume she had for about 2 seconds, where she had pants.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be Wonder Woman in the middle of winter in a skirt.
Right.
Of course not.
But you're on Amazon. It doesn't bother you.
Right.
Amazon.
See, I think personally, like for me, just my own opinion, I think I'm too small to be Wonder Woman. I like my Wonder Woman to have
muscles.
Thighs and muscles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything. It's Linda Carter. I want Linda Carter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
But Gal Gadot did amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
But what was it about the movie?
Sometimes I felt like it was a bit overhyped. Because a lot of, I guess we could say, feminists were going after being like, this happened and this happened, and I'm like, yeah, but it's Wonder Woman. She's been doing that for years in the comics.
So yeah. Well, but I think the fact that it was the first time we actually got to see it pulled off in the theater. For years we haven't seen a woman in a movie like that, the way that they did it. So I mean, I get it.
That's what I said. I can see it on both fronts. I don't know. For me, like, I liked it, but again, it was DC. It was, to me, unpolished.
Yeah.
A bit. It could have used a little bit of refinement.
Yeah, but yeah, I can definitely.
But most of DC needs a little refinement.
I always say DC makes the better live TV shows than they do movies.
Well,
but
yeah, I mean,
I'm hoping Aquaman will be pretty good.
Aquaman looks good.
What they're saying about Aquaman is that none of the DC characters are going to be in there though, except him.
That's fine because the whole theater will sell out because it's Jason Momoa.
Oh, is that right?
That's why. Well, that's why.
That's the only reason.
That's why
Justice
League
go see it.
sold out.
Right?
Look. Can we just look at the man for what he is as an actor, as the man? Do we have to sexualize everything here? Jeez, man, the women, the way that they just objectify these men sometimes. I don't understand it.
No, keep doing.
No. Jason Momoa is one of them guys. He can walk in any room and they go crazy. It's crazy. So look, Rainer, I think D's over there. He's saying, did nobody mention Smallville on the show?
I forgot about
Smallville.
I did.
My thing was like, it was always hard. It was always hard for me to see. If I'm watching Superman, I want to see him be Superman.
You're like, when is he gonna get into the suit?
College, right? And it just took him what was like 7-8 years before he got into the final.
It was the final episode, where he puts on the suit.
Turning around, it was like
this is why.
It was kind of. But I'll say this: though, Smallville gave us a bunch of Easter eggs. So like you would see the suit from time to in like the background and stuff. I will say this: Krypton is also another good show.
I heard that was okay.
Krypton is actually pretty good. Okay, so favorite. What would you say your favorite animated superhero TV shows are?
Oh, Batman animated series.
Batman,
the original.
Those are good.
Oh yeah.
I watch all of them.
The X-Men show was good too.
X-Men.
Remember that?
Yep.
Just actually, I bought one of the Batman animated movies. It's Gotham by Gaslight.
That's the first thing I watched when the network launched.
It was so good. We bought it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Killing Joke is amazing.
Killing Joke is really good too.
Killing Joke is very dark.
Wow.
Yeah. You forget these animated movies are so dark. You cannot. I forgot. I remember I watched Son of Batman with my wife, and I was like, "Oh, this is a good movie." And I saw it. I'm like, I looked at my wife. I go, "There is no way in the world we could ever let our kid watch this."
All right, hey, real quick, Jessica Hagan, where can everybody check you out at?
The Adventures of Jessica.
The Adventures of
Jessica.
Jessica.
New page on Facebook.
Right? And we want to wish her good luck with her.
Good luck.
Want to wish her good luck on the
pageant this weekend.
Bring it home for Washington.
Yes,
please do.
Represent. Want to thank everybody for tuning in to Urban World Talk Live. Anthony Adams, Teri Young. We'll be back here the week after next, not next week.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
y'all.
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy
See you guys next week. RainerAvenueRadio.world, Facebook Live. Until next time, it's your boy Teri saying, peace out.
Holla.
Oh, look, my friend Keith just started watching.
I can always watch it on demand. Okay, so I'm not too mad at the